hope that you can walk away with a little more information about the Activz product and really this trifecta approach of how these products are working. Let's start with Link product this morning. So we know that Link is butyric acid product. That's the primary ingredient in it. It also is formulated with 2 prebiotics. I don't usually get too involved in talking about those prebiotics simply because they're while they have other benefits, their primary inclusion in this formula is to help promote the gut biome to be able to produce and activate more butyric acid. Butyric acid is a short-chain fatty acid. It's one of several that the body produces. The interesting thing about butyric acid is that it's the primary energy source or food source for the epithelial cells within the gut lining. So we're going to talk a little bit about leaky gut syndrome. Typically that's an onset because the epithelial cells are inflamed and are just not healthy. Butyric acid is produced naturally in the colon as a result of the type of food that we eat. It specifically dietary fiber and combined with intestinal bacteria formulates butyric acid. And butyric acid is a foundational treatment throughout the entire body system. So butyric acid is produced in our colon, again, by friendly bacteria that ferment the dietary fiber. Only certain foods can pass through the stomach and small intestine and make it to the colon where the bacteria that make butyric acid is located. So fiber, aka prebiotics in our diet, can pass into our colon mostly undigested and can be used by certain healthy bacteria, these probiotics, as I talked about, that create and make butyric acid. So what is the human microbiome? The HMB or MB, you'll hear it both ways. Microbiome is comprised of all the microbes in our digestive system. We depend on a vast army of microbes to keep our body alive, and microbiome protects against the unhealthy bacteria. It breaks down food to release energy, and it produces the vitamins the body needs. Only certain fibers, again, the prebiotics and intestinal bacteria, can produce this butyric acid. Butyric acid and how Link promotes our health. Epigenetic regulators are molecules that control where and when certain genes are expressed. Link is a type of epigenetic regulator in that it can alter the function of proteins that make these chemical changes to our DNA. I talked briefly already about leaky gut syndrome. This is kind of what it looks like in a slide presentation. You'll see on the left side of the screen, the epithelial cells are healthy, they're pink. On the right side, you'll see that they're bright red, indicating they're inflamed. There's gaps between it, and those gaps is where bad things start to happen because of this leaky gut syndrome. Variety of different food particles, bacteria, and other unwanted items are being introduced into the bloodstream that end up going upstream to cause additional problems throughout the body. So this is what we don't want in the system. We want your cells to look like those on the left of the screen. We know that leaky gut syndrome causes poor brain function, an inability to digest and use food properly. It creates a poor metabolism and energy production, so you start to feel lethargic and just run down. Negative impacts on our immune system. We can see it expressing itself in our skin with psoriasis and eczema, and other skin issues can start to develop. Very commonly with leaky gut, you'll get IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or irritable bowel disease. Continued onset of that can lead to other more serious diseases like Crohn's disease and colitis. You'll see weight gain as an issue related to that, as well as increased inflammation throughout the body. So what are the benefits of Link? Well, we hear the story about this gut-brain connection. How is that working? Well, that's directly again related to a healthy microbiome, and Link being added into as a supplement product, giving the colon more butyric acid, it allows for an increase in creation of brain cells, this neurogenesis, as it's called. It can strengthen that blood-brain barrier, which is important in keeping toxics away from the cells within the functioning brain matter. It improves connection between the brain and the gut, that gut-brain axis. It moderates mood disorders. Link will upregulate those various gene expressions that can reduce depression and elevate other good mood behaviors as well. And the key to all the production of these neurotransmitters, which 90% of them are produced in the gut. So why do we need Link or butyric acid? Well, this slide gives us some of those indicators. It provides an antibacterial action. It upregulates our immune system, facilitating absorption of ions and water into the cells, growth differentiation of enterocytes, and it also improving intestinal barrier, allowing that tight junction that we see in those healthy cells, opposed to those gaps between the inflamed epithelial cells. It provides a growth of beneficial bacteria in our intestine, facilitating absorption of ions and waters. All of these are benefits of butyric acid being supplemented into our system. So what makes Link unique? It's a sourcing of high quality ingredients from a reputable manufacturer. I think I will add to that the fact that this is a product that wasn't just concocted by a couple people in their garage, which, believe it or not, many supplements on the market today, that's how they got started. This was actually a product that was designed by a very reputable group of cellular biologists, a high-tech organization that specializes in developing new products that actually help and work in the body. So this Activz Link product is a well-designed product. It also has with it a patent-pending Siloc-Dex key process. It actually encapsulates the formula at the molecule level. So by doing that, it shrinks the size of these molecules down a little bit, making them more absorbable when they're finally released. And in doing so, it increases that bioavailability. One of the positive things, especially when we're talking about butyric acid, it's a very odorous product. And by encapsulating at that molecular level, it reduces that odor. It also makes the taste much more improved, so that it's a product that people will take. So we know that Link improves gut function and microbiome health. So we're going to talk about the Optimen product now. The Activz Optimen product is an anti-inflammatory antioxidant product. It's a powerful formula that incorporates patent-pending breakthrough technology. It uses a dual-prong approach, if you will, to manage both occasional and chronic inflammation or systemic inflammation that can be found throughout the body, especially in people with a variety of disease pathologies such as arthritis. It will reduce those minor and in many cases major aches and pains, and it also supports joint mobility and flexibility. So what is this two-prong approach? The first portion of this formula is tetrahydrocurcumin. It's a powerful metabolite derived from curcumin or from turmeric, and each of these are just breakdowns of the turmeric root. But the most absorbable of the extracts from turmeric is the tetrahydrocurcumin. The second prong of this approach is the Boswellia serrata, also known as Indian frankincense. And both of these have been used in medicine for literally centuries, and they're both powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant herbs, if you will. A little bit about tetrahydrocurcumin. Well, we know that it fights inflammation. It stimulates the antioxidant response, so that upregulates the genes that are your antioxidant genes. It fights degenerative brain processes. It's beneficial in effects on heart disease. It's been known to treat symptoms of arthritis, and also helps alleviate symptoms of depression as well. Boswellia serrata has some of the same effects. It's been known to be very effective with osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, beneficial with headaches, brain tumors, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, and also Crohn's disease. And again, this particular product utilizes that Psylocke and DexKey technology, just allows the supplements to get past the stomach and the formula to arrive into the intestine where it's released, and the absorption is far better once it reaches that stage. And also we know that because it's protected in this Psylocke approach, we know that the full formula is being presented, and we're not losing part of it in going through the stomach acid process. So in summary of this particular product, it's well researched. Herbal anti-inflammatory, provides safe choices over NSAIDs. There's lots of studies and reports on the efficacy and safety of the NSAIDs today. Doctors are wanting to find new approaches to assist people in their pain and inflammation issues, and this is an excellent product that can be substituted for NSAIDs. It covers a host of anti-inflammatory health concerns when used for long-term purposes. And again, because of the DexKey Psylocke delivery system, we know that we're getting an increase in bioavailability. And I'd like to present that these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And then finally, the third stage of our trifecta, we're going to talk about genomics. Genomics is an NRF2 activator, and the little picture on the right side is kind of an artist drawing of what NRF2 looks like. How does NRF2 benefit your health? Well, it's well known that if you can upregulate this NRF2 activation cell process, that you will see DNA repair. You'll see that your genes are being repaired through upregulation and increase in expressions from the genes at the DNA level. This will increase the anti-inflammatory protection, the cytoprotection that the cells are receiving benefit from these gene expressions. We know that it's been beneficial in cardiovascular disease prevention, diabetes prevention, Alzheimer's prevention, cancer prevention, reversing of aging of the skin. All of these are factors when we are utilizing a good NRF2 activator. The next slide shows the formula itself. We know that it's got rosemary extract, ginger extract, and so forth. First, talk about rosemary. Rosemary has a range of possible health benefits: antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds. It improves digestion. It's enhancing our memory and concentration. It has a neurological protection. It prevents brain aging. It's also known as cancer prevention. We know that the benefits of ginger can reduce your risk of diabetes. It's a natural way to relieve period pain. It's an anti-inflammatory. It can settle upset stomachs. It can curb morning sickness. It can help prevent heart disease, and it may even lower the risk of cancer. And there's many studies that are starting to show that. Besides the ginger and besides the rosemary, this product also has a couple of flavonoids that are present in it as well. And I've never been a real knowledgeable person of the benefits of flavonoid until I started reviewing exactly what this formula has in it. And these flavonoids that are being used are are very powerful flavonoids. And here are some of the benefits that they bring to the table with this particular NRF2 activator. They delay or prevent the onset of diseases caused by free radicals. So that cytoprotection I talked about. They're best as antioxidants, their anti-inflammatory activity, their improvement of endothelial functions, blood pressure reduction due to its vasodilator effect. It inhibits the LDL oxidation by free radicals. It inhibits platelet aggregation and antiviral and antibacterial principles and reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. So you can tell just by the early introduction of the three primary ingredients to the formula of this NRF2 activator, we're talking about some very powerful effects that this product can provide. So it's going to be effective in the skeletal muscular disease. This slide gives you some of the ways that that is happening, the molecular mechanisms, if you will. Adipose tissues, the molecular mechanics that involve in healing those tissues, the gastrointestinal tract, how it affects that, the myocardial renal tissues and the immune cells, the molecular mechanisms that relate to that, as well as vascular smooth muscle and endothelial cells, and again, the liver and pancreas, the molecular mechanisms involved there. So this next slide is one that was provided to us that really is given a history of several NRF2 activation formulas. And I'm not going to go into what each of these are called. I'm only going to tell you that the green graph on the top is genomics. That's the NRF2 activator that we're using. The genomics is by far the strongest upregulator of all that's out there at this time. And last is talking about the trifecta, Optimen, genomics, and link. And the root of disease is oxidative stress and inflammation. This is the area that I studied for several years, and I was looking for formulas that would reduce oxidative stress because I knew that that was the trigger that upregulated. It changes the DNA, changes the gene expressions. Then if we could reduce oxidative stress and that inflammation, to me, that was the gateway of preventative medicine. Well, these three formulas, the research behind the ingredients of our formulas is crystal clear. Genomics, Link, and Optimen formulas work through different methods to strengthen an overall protective approach to cellular health. Whether you're doing it through a NRF2 pathway, providing better cytoprotection, whether you're doing it at the gut level, where you're making sure that your gut lining is healthy and that all foods and nutritions are being absorbed the way that system was designed, and by improving the function of the microbiome in your gut to be able, again, to allow that system to communicate with all of your organs, including that gut-brain function, that relationship, whether it be Optimen, which is, to me, the primary fire department, which is sending out fire engines in all directions to reduce the inflammation, which is, again, a symptom of many diseases. But if you're not reducing that inflammation, then you're not reducing the damage that it's being caused at the cellular level in a variety of different ways. So each of these products provides multiple unique cellular benefits. They also, as this slide shows, have an overlap. So they're doing some duplication, which is not a bad thing when you're talking about healing the body, the whole body in a variety of different ways. To upregulate our immune system, we have a way to reduce our inflammation. We have a way to fix a lot of the problems that are occurring because our NRF2 activation has slowed down as part of aging. We can make the body younger simply by turning the cells back on again and letting the cells do the repairs. These products are not fixing problems. They're just telling the body to do the fixing on its own. And with that, I leave this with you, and thank you for being here.